Thank you, Lindsay, for speaking. That was great, very powerful and inspirational. Thank you for sharing. And I just want to thank you all for inviting me to speak here today. It's truly an honor to be able to speak in front of you. Also, it's great to see Emily, my old speech therapist. You guys probably know her. She's great. Thank you to see Emily. Hi, I'm Brad Hammermash. I'm 16 years old. I go to Needham High School, and I suffered a TBI from a ski accident in 2020. Right now, I'm actually taking an accelerated course load at Needham High School, and one of my classes is public speaking, and our final project is give a speech in front of a group of people, so I'm getting ready for the class. If you wouldn't mind giving me a big round of applause at the end, just so I can that'd be nice. Today I'm going to be telling you about my accident and my recovery. So a little bit about myself before my accident. I was in 8th grade. I love to play basketball. I was an athlete, played basketball, and I love to work out, and I love to run. Here's a picture of me running 5Ks with my mom. We still love to do 5Ks together. And I also happen to be a very advanced skier. In February break in my 8th grade year with my family, we went on a ski vacation to our place in Keystone, Colorado. We've gone there my whole life. It was a great trip. I was skiing Black Diamonds with my cousin, with my dad, skiing super fast. And so my cousin, he had to leave to get back to school and leave a couple days early. So it was just me and my dad skiing together. And my dad, he's a slow skier, I'll tell you. So I was getting bored at the bottom of the mountain. I'd be waiting there for hours. And eventually we decided we were just gonna split up so I can shred the mountains on my own, and he doesn't have to sit on the chairlift hearing me complain about how slow he's going. So we ended up splitting up, and I hadn't fallen all trip. I was skiing great, skiing Black Diamond super fast. I was not falling. And I have fond memories of this trip up until the 20th. On February 20th, 2020, I was airlifted to Colorado Children's Hospital from the side of the slope. We were told that a random person found me right beside a tree on the side of the slope, not moving, not talking, and called Ski Patrol immediately. And within 5 minutes, Ski Patrol reached me, and luckily they had a helicopter on shift that day, and they airlifted me to Colorado Children's Hospital in 17 minutes, record time. Here's pictures of me. They took me to the ICU immediately. I was in a coma for 2 days, and I was diagnosed with broken scapula, 4 broken ribs, broken elbow, broken jaw on both sides, a punctured lung, and a traumatic brain injury. I was on a ventilator for several days, had a chest tube for 2 weeks for my punctured lung. It ended up, I needed surgery to get rid of that, and I was on a feeding tube for several weeks because of my broken jaw. I couldn't eat food. And then after 1 week in the ICU, I was moved to the rehabilitation unit and at my state at this time, I still cannot move the left side of my body. I required around-the-clock medical assistance. But now that I was in the rehab unit, I was able to start my therapies. I started speech, OT, and PT. These were just very short sessions, just like 1 minute at a time sessions. PT involved just getting me to sit up straight. They'd hold me up straight for a couple minutes at a time. Speech, they would ask me basic questions like what's my name, where am I, what time does that clock read. They were also trying to see if I could drink to see if my swallow was working. It was working, which was great. I can't remember much of this. I can't remember any of the accident. I can't remember much of this, and this is all due to post-traumatic amnesia. You might know about that. It's complete or partial memory loss after trauma. This was happening for 5 weeks for me, and so I spent 3 weeks in Colorado Children's Hospital, which I was then medically cleared to take a medical jet back to Boston, and I moved to Spalding, and this was right before COVID, so I was very fortunate to be able to come back to Boston. This was March 2020, This was right before COVID, so we didn't really know about COVID. There were people wearing masks, we were all confused, but I got back, came home, which was great. Eventually, this hospital shut down when my mom had to move in. My dad was not able to come in. My mom was living in the same room with me in the hospital, and my dad would come to the window and visit. I was on the 8th floor, so he would wave. My condition when I got to Spalding, I could barely move my left leg. I was just starting to move my left leg. I couldn't move my left arm, and I remember my first OT session at Spalding. My occupational therapist came into the room. I was on a net bed, and she just said, try and move your left arm. And I looked at it, and it was like I was trying to lift like a 10,000-pound weight with just my left arm. I could not move. I had no function in it. This was really hard. I was like unable to move it. It's like such an easy question. Move your left arm. Like, yeah, okay, I'll move my left arm. I could not move it. So my mental condition was I was very easily distracted. I had very short attention span. My mom was actually not allowed to come into the room for speech therapy because I would get too distracted, just like talking on and on and on. I was also struggling mentally because of due to like what I was going through and due to just the complexity of the mind. I truly did not believe I was in reality. I thought I was in some like non-real world. I thought it was a dream. I literally thought I went to sleep one night and hadn't woken up yet. I thought it was a dream. I had like never broken a bone in my body, and here I am with tubes and casts and braces. I had no idea this is not real. I'd never seen the inside of a hospital before. It was like it couldn't be real. I actually remember a speech therapy session with Emily where she was trying her hardest to keep me on task with her speech agenda, and I kept on circling back to, if you were in a dream, how would you wake yourself up? I'm in a dream, how would I get myself out? How do I wake me up? I'm like, please, like, remember that, Emily?
Yeah. Talk like that.
Here's a video of me walking in Colorado. I forgot to show it, sorry. This is a video of me walking in Colorado, my first walk.
No, I am. Okay, so that do not sit front. Step with your foot backwards. Good. Awesome job, Bravo.
Here's a picture of me and Emily. I'd also take my parents' phones and I would look up how to wake yourself up from a dream. I was obsessed over it. I needed to get myself out. I just would not, was unable to come back that this did happen to me and this is reality. Doctors kept telling me and my parents that there's nothing anybody can do or say. It just will take time for me to come realize that this is what happened to me. And aside from my reality being distorted, I was also very motivated to recover. I'm an athlete. I was motivated to get better. All my therapy sessions gave my days a lot of structure. I had therapy in the morning all the way to night. I'm very thankful for my therapists who they were coming to work during the early stages of the pandemic. They were part of the workforce. I was able to go to work during the pandemic started. So I'm very thankful for all my therapists who came into work and really helped me during COVID. At Spalding, I had a very positive experience. It really helped me get back on my feet. So I got out of my wheelchair. At Spalding, I got out of the wheelchair. I started regaining movement in my left arm and hand. They started strengthening my left arm. Here's a picture of me on the arm bike. I used to like that arm bike. It's good for my left arm strength. I came to the realization that this is reality. It was not a dream. I started talking more normally to my friends and my family on FaceTime. my memory improved. I got off the feeding tube and onto a liquid diet. And let me tell you, pureed food is not good. Pureed chicken parm is just not the same. It's not even close. I was starting to go on longer walks, and I was even able to walk up and down the stairs. Here's a video of a short clip from my long walk at Spalding.
Make sure you're lifting your left foot as you're walking, okay? Touch your toes.
Is that Danielle?
Yeah,
Lindsay and Danielle?
she now goes to all the Spalding sites,
She
not
does.
just Cambridge, yeah.
Oh, cool. She's awesome.
She is.
Keep your right foot.
She's a tough cookie.
Keep your right here. We'll walk a little bit.
So as you can see, I was needing somebody to lift my legs. I was still needing reminders: lift your left leg, make sure you're moving your left side. But I was not needing people to. I was able to walk on my own with just guidance, holding my body to make sure I wasn't falling. So I was really improving at Spalding. And then after 5 weeks at Spalding, I was cleared to come home. I was ready to get home. My condition at the time, I still needed help getting dressed, help walking up and down the stairs. I was only eating soft food. I had limited screen time, and I still needed a chair in the shower. But when I came home, I got tremendous support from my community and my family and friends. There was a car parade where hundreds of cars came to my house and holding signs with "Welcome back." Then when I got home, I started my therapy, my outpatient rehab with Community Rehab Care, CRC. I was doing OT, PT, and speech still. It was about every day. I had all 3 sessions. My stepbrother, Lucas, would come over and to keep me company and to film me. It was all telehealth, film me on Zoom for my PT and OT. And we would go on walks, we'd play cards. We were just trying to get into as normal of a life as we could get into during the early stages of COVID. And I even started getting into Sudoku. It was a recommendation from speech therapy. I got into Sudoku. I was doing really hard levels of Sudoku. I don't know how I was doing that. It took me hours to keep me busy. My next big achievement at home was I was cleared to run. About a month after I got home, I was cleared to run, and here's a video of my first run.
Brown. You look awesome.
So you can see in the video I was very skinny when I got out of the hospital. My left arm was like this. I was not swinging it, unable to move it fully. That was just how I was doing. I got really into running with my physical therapist at CRC. We'd go on runs when I'd go there. She'd give me drills to get at home. It was fun. I started just running up and down my street to running to my school, and then running 5K and moving up and up and up. And I love running. This was a big achievement for me because it just helped me get back into shape, and it was just to clear my head running. And then 6 months after my accident, I was cleared to shoot a basketball. This was like the biggest achievement for me. I've been waiting for this since I was in the hospital. I wanted to play basketball. That's all I wanted to do. I love basketball. So it made me feel great, and it made me really start to feel like myself again, now that I could play basketball. And then in September, I was able to get back into school. They're in a hybrid schooling mode, but I was able to go back to the full hybrid mode. I started to wind down with my therapies, and I started training for a 10K running just because I was getting really into running, and preparing for basketball tryouts with the hope that I'd be cleared to play contact sports by the time tryouts came around. And then in October, I ran the 10K, soon after, I made the freshman basketball team. In the spring, I picked up JV volleyball, so I started playing volleyball. In school, I got straight A's. I ran, and then I decided to run for class president, and I won. And I was the captain of my basketball team this summer at my sleepaway camp. And I'm having a great sophomore year now. I am driving on my permit.
Stay off the road.
I'm driving. I made the JV basketball team last week. I'm class president, so I'm doing well in school, and hopefully this speech will give me a good grade in public speaking. And so, none of this seemed possible during the early stages of my recovery. I'm extremely fortunate to have received all the help I've received from all the various people, starting with just a random person on the side of the slopes who called Ski Patrol, to Ski Patrol getting me to the hospital in record time, to the people in the ICU who are literally saving my life, then the therapist at Colorado who started giving me as much as they could give me back, regaining as much as I could regain back at that time. All the therapists at Spalding who helped me get back to my normal life, get out of the hospital and back home. All my family and friends and the community at home for getting me back to going back to school and just being in my normal life. And so I hope my story has inspired you to realize that your profession has the ability to really help people. You can change somebody's life. My hope for you is that in your career, you'll have the opportunity to work with somebody who has had a TBI, and you can make a positive impact in that person's life. You can help them, you can make an impact on them just like Emily and all of my therapists did on me. Thank you.